Ready for this? Yay! Kind of. Good framework, Michelle. So this project has been like ongoing for at least 4 months because it has been too darn cold to paint it. But now that we have some sun, I was able to paint it and it dried fast and this and that. So I don't have a lot of space to work with, don't you know? So this is it. I think it turned out fantastic. I think the painting looks awesome. I'm super excited to give it a try. I hope I don't sink to the bottom of the ocean. I might have a spotter and a life jacket the first time I give it a go because it's not heavy, but if you get stuck, you might get stuck and then you might not come up and that's not good. So wear a life jacket maybe just to get your bearings first. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I know the video is a bit sketchy. I know that it's kind of hard to follow, but I lost a lot of my footage and I was like, I'm not gonna refilm it. It's not worth it. So if you have any questions, ask. I'll try to go over it the best I can. Other than that, feel free to subscribe to my channel. Your subscriptions make it so I can do more cool stuff like this. And also, check out my Instagram. It's GGAETZZ, and I post things on Instagram before I post them on YouTube, so then you get to see the previews of what's coming out. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, ask. Any requests, for sure request them, and we'll talk to you soon. Goodbye!
I have no idea what we would do without YouTube. I'm telling you, I lost almost like 75% of the footage for this video and I was so mad. And then I went on YouTube and I found some guy's tutorial and I was like, dang, thanks man. I'm like, now I can kind of post it. But unfortunately, I did lose the very first few steps, so that's why I'm doing this. I used a piece of wrapping paper originally to draw the original pattern. I'm just giving you an outline. This is just kind of a temp thing just so you could see how I did it. You just want to go around the front of your feet, almost where the arches of your feet, just so you have the toe part, and then you're drawing your fin on however you want it. That's obviously a really crappy drawing, but cut it out, and then that's what is going to be your pattern. Once again, I used it on wrapping paper, so it was one full sheet. If you did it sheets like this, you want to tape them together so you have one full pattern. I just was lazy. I'm like, I'm just gonna film this quickly, so you get the idea. And that's what I do with that. You're gonna cut out everything except for where the toes are. So all the way around, in between the little thin parts, everything except the toes. And once you have that pattern, you're gonna put it on your, it's not vinyl. What I used is I went to RONA and I got almost like the matting that you roll a computer chair on carpet. It's like a plastic, but it's a flexible plastic. I got it, it was super cheap. I think it was like $5 or $6 for a foot or something like that. And I only needed about 3 feet. And so that's what I went and bought. And then I put that pattern that I already had cut onto the plastic and then recut out the plastic shape of exactly how it is. This is not the same material that I'm showing you here. This is just an example so I can kind of give you an idea, because sometimes it's hard to follow me, which I know. But yeah, you're gonna cut around on the plastic, and then once you have your plastic piece, you're ready to start moving on to your fabric. So the fabric that I used is just a stretch cotton. This obviously is not, this is just something I grabbed out of my drawer, but look how beautiful the pineapples are. I actually made a dog bandana out of these, but so you're going to use a stretch fabric that's like a polyester stretch would be fine or something like that. And I just wrapped it around my legs and pinned it all the way up to my hips. So from my toes to my ankles to my hips. And you can see that blue fabric is what I used there. And then once you have that, you're just gonna sew along the line. You don't need to be a seamstress. All you need is a sewing machine and an ability to sew along the straight line. And that was like basically all that was put together with that. I stuffed it full of newspaper so you can see the shape of it, and just so when I put it together you can see the shape of it. Also, you're going to duct tape the two ends together. So once you have your bodice on, you just put your feet back into the area that you had drawn out originally for your feet up until that arch in your foot, and then you're going to duct tape all around your ankles, all around the foot, all the way down onto the actual flat plastic. You saw where the duct tape was, how the line went probably up mid-calf. And you can use lots of duct tape. Ah, darn my phone. You can use lots of duct tape. You don't have to stinge out on that because the more you use, the stronger it's going to be. You're putting it over your feet and everything. And then you just have to slip your feet out of the actual cocoon thing that you have going on right now. And then you're ready to start doing your caulking. So, oh my God, what is that? Oh, is that because my video isn't working? and you, camera! In words of Legally Blonde the Musical, oh my god, you guys. There's something wrong, but I don't know what it is because my editing system is not the greatest. But I'm hoping that you can still see. Oh, it's green again. Oh god. No? Oh, I don't know. If it's gonna go green, I guess we'll see. And then you're gonna have all this footage anyway because I'm probably gonna redo it. But yeah. Oh, it could be your entertainment of the day. When you go for doing your caulking, you're going to caulk the whole thing and do it thick and do it full. And I had to use probably about like, I want to say 5 or 6 things of caulking because it really did take a lot to fill the whole tail and to cover the whole tail. Also, please note to self, when you are doing your caulking, acknowledge the fact that a mermaid scale would probably not go up. It would more than likely go down. Now you can see I'm doing it up because I was an idiot and I didn't really look. So when you're doing yours, make it go down. The other side of my tail turned out beautifully because I did make it go down. The lucky thing was I started with the back first, so all the back scales are going up and all the front scales are going down. So that was an accident on my behalf. But when you're doing it, don't do it up. Do your finger down. And I basically just covered like a strip of caulking and did like finger, like swooped it. And it gave it that scale look. I'm sure you could find like a tool or something to do it. I tried doing it with like something else, but I'd rather use my hands because I just find it easier. And then outlining the edge of the tail. I'm going to leave it as it is. I'm going to let you just watch and see what I did. And if you do have any questions, you can ask. But it was basically pretty straightforward. It's not anything too complicated. But I'm a monkey. Enjoy this and open water so and go ahead and
Invincible.
drowning or something, or I'm trying to sink to the bottom of the ocean, I can just unzip myself. It's an escape. So if you want to put a zipper in, you just sew that into the front or onto the side. Please do not sew it onto the back because you need to get out if there is an emergency of some sort. So yes, that was what that was if you saw that blue line and thinking, what the heck is that? That is a zipper! This part is because I wanted to add on more spiky things to the end. I wanted it to look more majestical and stuff like that. So I ended up doing caulking on wax paper, and I just made it really thick, and it actually turned out beautifully. It worked really well. So that was just super thick caulking, and it does look blotchy, but I ended up cutting it in the end to shape it a little bit more to the form that I want it. But now it looks like finnies, and it's pretty cool and wavy and whatnot. So that is what that is. And the same thing with doing the lines in the tail. There was no rhyme or reason to doing it. It was just the fact of giving it more texture on the actual tail base.
Here we go.
You can see me kind of clipping it and trimming it and whatnot just with a pair of scissors, and it cut like butter. It was like one of those satisfying things because I was like, ooh, this is so easy to cut. I'm sure you could use an X-Acto knife, but I just used a pair of scissors. And then it's basically done. You're ready to start painting it. It's for painting wise, I did use everything that I used in this video is all marine safe product. I made sure to do research and I made sure to get product that was marine safe, because if it flakes off into the ocean, you don't want to be killing any little fishies or octopuses or whatever. So get marine safe. This is the same with the paint as marine safe. I put some duct tape, or not duct tape, but painter's tape just over the zipper part, so when I painted it, it didn't stick to the zipper, and I had to start with the dark blue to make sure that it blended in with the zipper. I used 3 different colors. I used a dark blue, a more like medium blue, and a silver. Most of it is just sprayed on. It's totally whatever your artistic ability can allow you to do. A lot of it too, because it was looking quite blotchy to me, I had taken some newspaper and crinkled it up, and if you just press the newspaper on wet paint layered, so if you layer it dark blue, then silver, and then you press the newspaper on it, it gives this really cool, almost rust, like flakiness effect. And that's what I did throughout the whole tail as well, just so that the silver wasn't so prominent, but then it gave it a little bit more of a shine to it. But that's basically what it is. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you have questions, ask. I know there's gonna be questions because, I mean, I look at this and I'm already like, huh? So if you have questions, definitely do ask. And please, please, please be safe. If you are doing this and you're not the greatest swimmer, or if you're going to be doing it in an open body of water, please be safe. And it's not only for you, but there's boaters and whatnot out there. And like I said, I'm not going to be putting this on without a life jacket first, because I don't know how my body's going to react to it in a bigger body of water. So please, if you do it, have a spotter, wear a life jacket. If you're doing it in a pool, make sure you have someone there as well, because you don't know if that one time it happens and you can't get out, right? So please be safe and swim responsibly. Anyway, have a good day. I hope you enjoyed this, and we'll talk soon. Okay, bye.